And just one final reminder, there were several rule changes, so please make sure that you're familiar with them. And those of you that are on the Discord, you will have noticed that there is a new prompt for you as you join in to see the whole Discord. You do need to read and mark that you have read that rule set as well. Just a general way to keep our community informed so that you're aware and that we're aware that you're aware. Nice little cycle of accountability we should have going. And as soon as we get into this mission, we can start our brief, maybe give it a few seconds while you all join.
Anderson.
That's a big AO.
Does the rule thing in Discord, is that the one that's updated, or is there a different list?
There's two rule lists. There's the one that's on Discord that covers primarily the Discord rules, and then there's the document that covers the entire event as a whole, in-game and whatnot.
Is that link also in the Discord?
Should be. All right, what is our brief, Montgomery?
So just the normal rush game mode. Terminals must be taking sequential.
There goes his mic.
All right, any questions from our company leaders? All right, fantastic.
Top good.
This is...
All right, I'm jumping back upstairs. I'm going to quickly change my name back to Lcpl Liru. And Barb will be joining me in just a moment to talk about the AO, and I'll tell him about all the new changes. And again, thank you for joining me. Hey Barb, how you doing?
Good. Trying to go ahead and get a nice buzz going with this wine.
Of course you are. All right, so let me tell you about some of the new changes for Friday Night Fights that are, well, new. So, marksmen have been moved. You're going to notice a new symbol on your prompt. It's the X right under command that represents a group called X-Ray. They're only allowed to use it if they have 3 people in there. And it is basically a team leader, a marksman, a medic, and a, I think, grenadier. So now that's the only place where you can have a marksman scope, but they added a, instead of an MOS, there's some other scopes you can take as well that have longer ranges. Another change was if there are any AOs that add custom buildings, they have to be marked on the map through the rectangles or ellipses in the map marker section, you know, the custom shade areas, to show both sides the layout of those structures. And I believe those are the 2 major ones. I can't recall any others on the top of my head, but just so you know when you see that new group. Otherwise, how are you?
I'm pretty good. Still a little miffed I wasn't able to join you for EU. I was really looking forward to it, but...
That's okay. How was football?
It was Bama versus Notre Dame. What do you think?
So, Alabama obviously won.
Yeah, by like 4 touchdowns.
Now, my father...
yeah, they led the entire game.
Yeah, my father is from Alabama State. Born in there, and he went to Alabama University, so he always likes playing the watching the college football games. So,
of course he does. It's like following the Yankees or following the Patriots.
Yeah.
Of course he's a fan if they win all the goddamn time, but I digress.
Banjo music starts.
It looks like for this we have some. I wouldn't call it basic so much, but kind of.
No, you can call it basic. It's a standard OPFOR versus BLUFOR round there. Lolo getting kicked off. People were making fun of the fact that he had like a 500 pain in the menu there, so I hope he's able to get back on. But you know, BLUFOR versus OPFOR, 556 versus 545, pretty much a mirror match of gear. M72As for AT versus what I would assume is the RPG 26. And the only difference is the machine guns, you know, PKMs versus 249 Bravos. The SVD having a 10-round magazine compared to the Mark 11 with a 20-round magazine. But otherwise, vehicles-wise, OPFOR getting that BTR-80 and a bunch of transport Vics that are not... they are all soft skin, so they're easy to penetrate. Meanwhile, BLUFOR, let me actually look at their vehicles here because I don't have all the designations memorized yet because I'm not that much of a pleb, but we have an armed MRAP, we have an armed Humvee, and then just some transport Humvees, and then the transport trucks that are up armored and they can take a few hits. So that is nice to see. We'll see how BLUFOR divides, but yep, go ahead.
Actually, no. Those transports, they have the wide windows. Those are the relatively unarmored ones.
Are they?
I think the cabin does have some more plating than, say, the unarmored Humvees, but yeah, those wide open windows mean that it's like anything could shoot through those pretty easily.
Gotcha. All right, and then I see Carl Gustav, also known as a Maz, on BLUFOR for the recoilless rifle mat gun, and OPFOR, I will assume, has the RPG-32. If I can find it. Just Charlie 2's AT weapon. Yeah, there it is. All right, so that is being handled by Stuart, who I have seen take AT in the past. He's pretty decent with it. And V. Reznov, also, I've seen in the past, pretty decent with that AT weapon. But otherwise, let's... Sorry, go ahead.
Well, no, I was going to say, yeah, Victor Reznov also has a Carl Gustav. I don't know if there's two on the field, but I just...
There's only one. There's still only one each on the Charlie 2 sections.
Gotcha.
But otherwise, let's look at these AOs. So, Terminal 1 in a fully enterable building on the second story. That is gonna be a little bit of a shoot house to defend and utilize. But BLUFOR, again, having the numbers advantage to kind of nullify that. But a pretty nice AO all around. One issue with it, though, is the forest kind of encircling it. BLUFOR can get on the edge of the forest and go in and have some good cover and concealment to get into the AO. But there are a few open fields that OPFOR will try to set up good bases of fire with. Hopefully with their machine gunners and BTR if they choose. But I would definitely see BLUFOR coming in from the west. Make sure you hit page up, by the way, to increase your render distance. But that or possibly from the north, but again, you have a lot of open areas here that OPFOR can easily make into kill zones. What do you think about AO2, though? Noah, thanks for the 11-month resub. Hope keep enjoying the ops.
I actually...
Hope staying safe on COVID. We'll get a kick out of this.
Is probably the best way to come through for the attacking force, but everywhere else, there's big gaps between before you get to that forest that does encircle the first terminal. So I think the west one is going to be the best way to approach this from the western vector, but I don't know exactly if there's a perfect angle to
unfortunately no,
it seems to me that this would be perfect. They could use some smoke and try and push up it through concealment, but I think they're going to get spotted moving into this AO, assuming that Red 4 actually moves up and garrisons this. But on to Terminal 2, the town...
Well, I mean, a real quick point, this is a rush attack, which means that BLUFOR does have to take the terminals in order, so they will be forced to come to this AO first, even though we see from time and time again that they will split off their force and try to backcap to just wait for the other team to get it done, which usually they don't. They just get stuck there like dum-dums, but that's besides the point. I do agree the west would probably be like your only good approach, but I have seen Crazy Thunder runs in FNF. You have to, and I'm sure BLUFOR will do something stupid to shock us, as usual. But otherwise, AO2, go ahead, take it away.
Absolutely. So this is where the Red 4 players have spawned, up here on the northeastern corner. But this is a slightly larger town. We've seen this place used before with some extra custom compositions and layouts. And
turn the music down slightly.
The AO, or the actual, I should say, the compound for this terminal, we've seen this used before. It's a little junkyard with a lot of verticality and a lot of tight spaces, which is always nice to see. Have some nice CQB battles in this little very confined area, but again, getting there is going to be difficult. It does have forests kind of stretching out, especially on the northeastern side of it, but everywhere else, and even that northeastern side, there's big old open fields that they're going to have to BLUFOR is going to have to cross before they even get to this town, and then they still got to fight down south past the first layer, that northern kind of side of town, just to get to the junkyard. They do know exactly where it is, as opposed to, say, the cache objectives, search and destroy, where they're given an area, so they know that this is exactly where it is. So they'll be able to plan around that a bit, but what's going to be interesting for me to see is if Red 4 leave any of these vehicles behind, BLUFOR will be able to reuse them and possibly move from Terminal 2 to Terminal 3 a bit quicker, because they won't have to go... potentially they wouldn't have to go as far for their to get back to some transport.
No, I agree.
That also does leave the possibility of combat engineers leaving some satchel charges on the vehicles that they leave behind. I could see just a nice little satchel placed underneath the truck and just blowing that once they see it go up. See the terminal start to get hacked or something. I could see that happening, but sorry I interrupted you.
No, you're good. It was good. Good professional opinion there. I would say the only really good way to come into this AO is from the east, because that's where you have a decent chunk of force coming in. You could also do it from the northeast, even though there is a gap in the line coming in. But everywhere else is just too open. But we might see some sneak arounds from the southwestern side of the small pond, and then units trickle in, because this AO size, it would take half of OPFOR to properly, fortify it around. I doubt they're going to spend all that manpower to cover this one objective. But we'll see. By the way, I was tabbing out because Anderson added his POV to the multi, so I linked that to you and Nem, because I know they like to watch the multis. But otherwise, BLUFOR is going to have to be really conservative about their vehicles, because look at all this open space compared to Terminal Sites 1 and 2. They will have to do some repositioning with those Vics, because if they were to go on foot, take Terminal 1, and then exit out of the west, they then have this massive open area that they'll have to push into. And these AOs, even though they're somewhat close together, they're still spaced out enough where for 50 minutes, it's going to be tough to hit all three of these AOs on foot while fighting resistance. That's another change, by the way. You are now no longer allowed to go past the 50-minute round limit, with very special exceptions to be made. But otherwise, it's going to stay 50-minute rounds.
And that's with that 15-minute warning that we normally see, correct?
Yeah, so if 50-minute rounds after safe start, so technically up to an hour and 5 minutes. Exceptions would be made for, if you remember that they replaced round 2 and 3 with a super round 2 with respawns on Chernarus from like forever ago back in August. That would be one of those exceptions.
They're just going to be stricter about when they actually call overtime, I guess.
No. So you know how some people would sometimes take it like over 50-minute rounds?
Oh, yeah.
That's what I mean.
Sometimes even under. Yeah.
No, it's 50 minutes. That's what I'm trying to tell you, Forehead.
Yeah, but we've had some rounds that went kind of quick, remember?
No. They are capping it at 50 minutes.
Oh, they're capping it.
So overtime is still possible, but the official designated time is going to be capped at 50 minutes, which is the normal round, but they're making that official. That's what I'm trying to tell you, Forehead.
I gotcha.
Okay.
It's okay. I'm thick. I got a thick old skull.
I don't want to say anything. Anyway, let's look at AO3. Right. AO3 actually looks to be the best AO in my opinion, because it's a really tight area itself right here, and there's open fields all around. So if OPFOR were to just pull good security here, they could deny anything coming into this AO. So, I mean, based off of that alone, I would definitely have half my force on Terminal 3 just ready to go, and then spend the other 2 AOs with the other half of my force just harassing. Now, what are your thoughts on Terminal 3?
Yeah, I definitely agree with you as far as it having probably the widest expanse of field surrounding it, so definitely good for Red Fort to defend here. The fact that the terminal is on the eastern side and very close to that MSR means that any kind of garrison on the western or northwestern side of Lcpl wouldn't be so effective. They'd have to concentrate around this terminal pretty heavily, and that would very severely limit their effectiveness and able to defend. I think Terminal 2 is going to be better than this, just for the sake of they can hold a wider defense on the northern side of town and kind of stagger, the firing retreat, and just withdraw further back and further back through the buildings, through the trees, and until they get to the AO itself. Now, something that we could see if they wanted to go that route is have just pretty much a small scouting force for Terminal 1 and Terminal 2 just to harass and kind of burn the clock. And then, maybe have them build up everything else by Terminal 3, but we'll have to see what they do as they're starting to move out, actually, with that BTR leading itself down the road.
So, OPFOR doesn't really have any armed vehicles except for the BTR-80, but the BTR-80 isn't really that maneuverable. if I was OPFOR, my defensive policy would be to try to put the BTR or a squad of infantry to hold the MSR that goes east to west just before they get into the forested areas, because I would be able to try to predict that BLUFOR would go along that route, because if they can use that BTR to catch a truck of people out of position and kill them, that would be really advantageous for the defending faction to, get an early hit on the attacking faction's force to nullify that numbers advantage. But a BTR-80 is really hard to do that because of its lessened maneuverability. But if I was BLUFOR, I would definitely focus on having my vehicles that are armed to lead the convoy going in. And for this AO, I'd probably do an all eggs in one basket approach. If not, have a vehicle or two ready to just thunder run some infantry at a different angle. But Roche is really restricted when it comes to these types of AOs because there's going to be open fields in some of them and no good way to get in. So you will have to restrict yourself and risk thunder runs with vehicle overwatch. Because the 250 cal Vics with, just suppressing fire to kind of cover your thunder run is your best bet here. But I don't know. Like, Terminals 1 and 2, I can see how BLUFOR are going to hit those. Terminal 3 is going to be the wild card here, but it looks like OPFOR is focusing on putting a lot of forces in the forest that will lead to Terminal 1. But no actual Terminal 1 defense. They're going to focus on Terminal 2, but nothing on Terminal 3, and I don't think that's the best strategy. But we'll have to see how it goes.
Yeah, it looks like we're having a couple people. I see a PKM kind of buddy team with Flux and Novix over there far in the northwest, like you said. And they're getting some more reinforcements. Actually, that's like 17. That's 20 people up there with those UAZs and gas trucks up there. I don't know why they're...
There goes the mission.
A solid kilometer away from Terminal 1, which is a very interesting call, but maybe they're just trying to hold a flank, expecting some kind of maneuver through those woods. It's kind of a bit of a Hail Mary, in my opinion, but we'll see what happens. We also have that X-ray team off in the northeast of Terminal 1, so they're also going to be just kind of maybe running harassment and doing something.
Yes, they have to do terminals in order.
Trying to just burn that clock, but yeah, very almost like a lure them in approach for this terminal, but that doesn't quite entirely make sense because both teams are a good kilometer away from it. I don't know.
All right, so as you mentioned, we've got some BLUFOR cars going on the wide flanks and then a large BLUFOR convoy here, but it looks like they are going to the west because they're going to go on that western route on the forest to get into Terminal 1. OPFOR, I don't really get this counterattack they deployed here. I think knowing that the forest is going to be heavily utilized to get into Terminal 1 here, they're trying to be very progressive in defending it so BLUFOR can't get in, but it leaves a massive hole here in the defense line. Because if BLUFOR, for example, goes closer, to the northeast of this OPFOR defense line, they can A, bypass it, and B, OPFOR committing literally, that's almost half of their force. Really close, like about 45% of their guys to a random force instead of the actual objectives. It's really risky. Because if BLUFOR doesn't commit to the obvious choice vector here and instead they thunder run, I mean, they're going to completely bypass a lot of that infantry. Now, it is important to note that a common trend in FNF is once players get entrenched and they start their attack, they slow down in movement. And that's why you see Scandi Recon that does these wide flanks. They're the most notorious group in Friday Night Fights by doing those wide flanks, but they're always able to catch up to players because the attacking force almost always slows down. Momentum just slowly peters off. So when you have a massive force like this, if the BLUFOR force gets Terminal 1, bypasses this massive attack line here, and then starts attacking Terminal 2, you will see this massive OPFOR force remount, or even on foot, go and attack BLUFOR on the rear. And almost always when the attacking force gets sandwiched between a defensive garrison and a large force, they get wiped. they almost always lose because usually the attacking force splits off into 2 pincers and tries attacking the garrison from 2 different sides. And the one attack wave, counterattack wave from the defending faction is usually able to then pick apart one pincer and then pick apart the other one because of numbers advantage. So we'll have to see how things go here. But it looks like BLUFOR is committing units to the direct north of Terminal 1. But we could still see a pincer break off here.
Coming within 2 kilometers now is, that vanguard force of BLUFOR guys in Humvees, just kind of driving through these dirt roads now through the forest. Starting to see, these trucks now pulling off southeast, so they may go through this big forest on the northern end and just kind of maybe dismount and walk up, get as close as they can with the VIX, and then do that. We'll see, but if they follow on this route, they're gonna... I can't see them really coming into contact with much. Maybe some pot shots from the forest, which would slow them down, and they can think, oh, they got enfilade fire, flanking fire from maybe the west or east to support a garrison at the terminal area. But if they don't, and they're just able to walk in pretty uncontested, then that's that one terminal down, and like you said, a good 40% of the OPFOR force.
Amazing.
Just out of position just digging around in a forest.
So BLUFOR to the north of the town of Yarlitz at 144728. We have a squad that's dismounted because they hit a bush and took some injuries, and their front wheel is busted. So they're replacing that.
A bush.
They hit something. I honestly don't know what, but
That's fair.
They might have bumper carred with another truck because this community loves to play bumper cars.
Yeah, there's another truck up there, the PFC Jeff's truck with Destai standing on. I'm seeing some blood there, so maybe, one truck bumped another, and that would make sense, because it hasn't been since, I think it was Kujari that had the concrete bushes, and I don't think this
Your
map
mic's
has that
dying.
problem. I'm looking to get a new one, I'm sorry.
It's
So
okay.
you're talking about, like, internet, or, like, just...
It's making buzzing sounds. It sounds like you censored the word cock when you were talking, which I thought was pretty funny, but... yeah, that's a very interesting point, Barb. Thank you for that.
Yes. And now we have Death 2 disconnecting.
So I'm checking the roster here. I might have found the reason that car blew up. There are parts of Alpha 1 in a smoking vehicle, and Nightshade and Greenshade are dead.
The 2 shades.
So... that was funny. I mean, there was, in round 2 of EU, there was a bumper car thing that blew up 3 vehicles and killed 3 people.
Jesus.
At spawn, because people like to play bumper cars in this community. And I don't know why they keep doing it, but they keep doing it. So, Green Force still has a numbers advantage. They were up like 6 or 7 players. Now they're only up about 5, but it's still a number advantage nonetheless. But usually what happens is if whichever side has units killed off earlier... usually loses, so
yeah,
it'll come down to the PvP, but
BLUFOR already whittling down their numbers advantage is not what they want, because they're not taking anything in return for it. It's just free kills for Red 4 in a way.
So OPFOR have good lines right here, but notice how X-Ray pulled off to the right and is now watching the Overwatch angle from Roche. And then you have Chupless and Montgomery watching north, slight northeast, but they don't really have any good lines to the direct north from Terminal 1, and yet BLUFOR is completely deploying on the northern flank. So we're probably...
I think it has to be a miscommunication, because it's just... there's no... like, it doesn't make sense. There's no one ready to act as a QRF. All the guys on the west side are so far away from their vehicles and so far spread out.
We have
the X-ray squad.
BLUFOR Gamma coming down the western flank into the town of Rotz, but we have the OPFOR BTR 80 there as well. I mean, the 2 armed Vics against that large OPFOR line. Here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking BLUFOR is going to get to Terminal 1, and then OPFOR is going to try to counterattack. That's the only thing I can think of right now, because it's just this is such a weird deployment formation.
Yeah, and especially looking just west of it, the spread out 5-man team led by Drake with Delta 1 for Red 4 they're looking in that direction. Drake has his binocs out, and he's looking over to his kind of northeast. But it just... I don't know. I swear, someone thought the other... Like, two teams get deployed over here. One thinks the other is covering or garrisoning the town. The other thinks that the other one is, and I don't see how it will turn out well, because it's just so far for them to go, for Red 4 to go for a counterattack.
Hold up, BLUFOR Vix are... I thought they were going to continue on the MSR. They actually missed a turn. They are going to head right into the forest that OPFOR has completely covered.
Looks like it, yeah. Well, Zope's on that bottom corner of that little patch of...
He's not going to have an angle on that SSR, though. He'll have to redeploy. The vehicles aren't going to hear him, though, because they're going to get drowned out by their own noise pollution from their engines, but... I don't know. The Green 4 Vix do have a mobility advantage on that BTR, but they could definitely do a bait and switch here. And if they go in and thunder run this area, I'll start using terms that people understand. Never mind. If BLUFOR comes in with the vehicles and starts shooting people, OPFOR will pull units in thinking this is where BLUFOR's main push is going to be, and that's going to pull even more eyes away from Terminal 1, where you have BLUFOR's main force all deployed on the northern side because they're doing an all eggs in one basket approach. One of them threw a smoke grenade. BLUFOR did on their main group, so I'm trying to look and see if Montgomery and Shoeless notice, but there's a lot of foliage they gotta look through in order to see that. Montgomery is too busy focusing on the southeastern side. Shoeless...
There's no way. Too many trees.
Yeah.
And too far of a distance.
It's too hard to see, in my opinion. I'd be very surprised if he sees it.
I'd say it's damn near impossible. There's also a big old hill in the way. Nah, I don't think so. But that is a bit of a gaffe from them, at least.
So I'm looking at Cheese right now. His first person, he has his bino out, and it's a Vector 21. He's looking on the right side of BLUFOR's advance, but he has no eyes on. I cannot believe OPFOR left this big of a freaking blind spot, but I think it's because they weren't expecting BLUFOR to come down, the main way, south to north, but at the same time, like, you at least need one guy with an LR to be there just in case, because more often than not, the one flank you didn't prep for, regardless of how stupid it is probably going to be used by the enemy, because that's just how freaking Murphy's Law works.
Well, on the west side, those two Vics, the MRAP and the armored Humvee, they've stopped just outside of Retzlingen. I'm sure just waiting for the word to commence their attack from command. But yeah, they're going to have a little fire team to deal with, and possibly that BTR. They do have 250 cals, one on each vehicle, so if one falls, the other one will be able to trade with it. At least
BLUFOR command vehicle driving in the open to the northeast of the X-ray group, but the X-ray group isn't going to spot it.
Not anymore now, is that it's gone past that thick patch of forest.
We might see I only use suppressors see it as the BLUFOR command Vic moves up to the X-ray group. If anything, though, that's actually going to be... How would I put this? If OPFOR sees that truck and thinks that they're going around that white flank, they're going to redeploy units from the western side to the eastern side, thinking that that is a push by BLUFOR, because that's a massive blind spot they have right there. So if anything, that's going to take more eyes away from the western focus, and just space out OPFOR more. In reality, though, it doesn't change the fact of where BLUFOR is going to come in from here, because the north is still completely open, and they are advancing. I just cannot believe we have an all eggs in one basket strategy, BLUFOR committing everyone on a northern flank, and it's actually going to work just because it does.
Yeah,
I can't believe this.
Star crossing, and they're going through that thick patch of forest. Still have a ways to go, and we're already about 15 minutes into this round.
One important thing to note, though, BLUFOR is leaving all of its vehicles behind. Wuna is lagging out on the back, so he'll probably disconnect. But with all these vehicles being left behind, BLUFOR is going to be committing on foot here, and that's the one thing we talked about in the pre-session that we didn't want to happen, because BLUFOR is going to get stuck doing a lot of maneuvering over open fields, and OPFOR is going to utilize that to their advantage. Whether or not they know about it yet, because that's BLUFOR is just going to get stuck in a lot of bad areas to maneuver here, especially going from Terminal 2 to 3, just all of that open area. If OPFOR even pulls forces back there, which they probably will. I suspect after Terminal 1 goes down, that half of the Western force on OPFOR will move in to counterattack. The other half will probably go back to Terminal 3 to set up a defense line, but who knows?
Who knows, indeed. But all I do know is...
Did Lolo get back in? I don't believe so.
The southern side of this forest.
Oh, yes, he did. He's at the
Right
BTR.
now, if you look at the map, it does show a bunch of some pretty thick patches of greenery between them. It's not that thick, actually, so it's a little bit misleading. A bit thicker as you get towards the town, but for the most part, it's pretty sparse. They are crossing the Strakotenko and Reznov's group leading the charge. And, yeah... Well, they're going to get there pretty much, yeah, like no one's going to see them walk into here. Actually, looking at these sight lines, there is so much foliage in these forests.
There's not even an explosive trap in here.
And the objective, like, they're going to be able to walk in. It's just a matter of time and how quick this BLUFOR force decide, oh shit, is this place actually clear? And like you said, they could be, leading them into a trap and waiting for that counterattack. But just look how far...
Yeah, I mean, here's the deal. If it was a planned trap, though, OPFOR would have explosive satchels in Terminal 1. No one in OPFOR has even been in this AO. No one's been in there yet. So, I really don't get it. Like, OPFOR literally... who's OPFOR command here? Indigo Fox, he's an admin of FNF too. So he knows what he's doing. It's just, I think he overcommitted... way too many forces on the obvious vector that BLUFOR, honestly, I kept saying honestly there, should have chosen, but BLUFOR, who's BLUFOR lead? Dusty's, who I do see on occasion here. He just went for a simple strategy, and it's working. Now you are seeing BLUFOR forces kind of fan out here, but OPFOR has no northern guard here to see these guys crossing in the open.
Well, this would be the X-ray group, but even then, they're still looking to the east. They're actually pulling back west now. So, it doesn't look like they're like too much in a hurry, but I think they're saying, no, we're not seeing anything over here, let's pull back. Cheese and McKenzie are still holding on that northern side.
BLUFOR, though, is going to be super cautious about this move up, though, because I honestly don't think they will think that this is open.
I mean, like you said, both of these commanders have, they know their shit to a certain degree, so...
BLUFOR is going to think there's an ambush in here, though. Like, there's no way that they predict this.
Oh, I'm sure that's something that they'll be expecting, but it's these people. It's also going to be a possibility that they go, oh, they're not holding this objective. Take it with caution, but I don't think there's anything here. So that is a possibility. Like, that wouldn't be their first thought. Let me make that clear. But after a certain point, they're going to go.
Oh my God!
Oh, there's no one here. What?
In a stroke of genius, OPFOR is pulling the western flank back to the western side of Terminal 2.
They've all consolidated. They've gone back in their gas trucks, and they're maneuvering somewhere. I don't know where exactly, but yeah, it looks like they're going back, at least to some degree. That is impeccable timing, and I don't know why. Because it's rushed.
So
it's
okay.
sequential.
It's because we're 15 minutes into the round. Indigo Fox is getting cold feet right now, and he thinks that BLUFOR is probably trying a massive attack from the rear, which I don't blame him for, because more often than not in rush attacks, we have seen BLUFOR attack the attacking faction attacks the last terminal first. I don't know why that's been a trend, but it has been over the past few months. So I think they might be thinking that BLUFOR is trying to hit Terminal 3 first, which is why they're redeploying these forces, but not leaving a single sentry up there. Not even a team, I think, is bad.
I gotta interrupt you. X-Ray's command
Yep.
Sniper is still on the top bit, but Vito and I only use suppressors. They pulled back, and they're completely unaware. But if anyone's going to spot this BLUFOR force, he's going to spot Severe's group with Saunders and
Vito, might. If he looks right, he might be able to spot him, and he is looking in that direction. I am going to go into first-person camera on Vito here and see if he spots anything. No.
Completely oblivious. There is a bit of a hill in the way, to be fair. Like if I hit O and take off those markers, just the terrain is just different enough to where even if he was looking that direction, I don't think he would have spotted them, but still, that was pretty much their best chance, and he's walking back through the forest.
Quick strats here, though. Things I want to point out. OPFOR has no idea where BLUFOR is. If BLUFOR is smart, they're going to not hack the terminal right now. I know that for a fact they're going to initiate it. You're about to have Mav touch it. But if BLUFOR was smart, they would have just kept a guy there. Because now what this tells OPFOR is that there is a force at Terminal 1. So you're probably about to see a massive redeployment of that western flank force to try to hit the Terminal 1 site. And a lot of eyes are immediately going to turn to it. You already see X-Ray. They have stopped moving, and they are now moving towards Terminal 1 itself. And you might actually see, I only use suppressors, see Severe's group. Let me quickly check his first-person view, because he is looking in that direction.
Again, if you hit O to take the markers off, maybe, but from his first person, it's just scratching the
Vito,
top.
yep, Vito was looking in the right way as well. And we just heard an explosion in Terminal 1. I think that was a misthrown grenade or something, but now we are going to start seeing BLUFOR. It looks like they're trying to be strong on the western side here. And they are potentially going to go on the western flank and move in. But then again, with Severe's group doing recon on that eastern side, we might also see BLUFOR push southeast and attack through the forested way to have concealment going into there, in which OPFOR only has a very limited force going in. Also, X-Ray has redeployed on the southern side of Terminal 3. They could just sneak in there and camp Terminal 3 on a backcap. Like, I really don't get OPFOR's defensive strategy here. Not to be mean to Indigo Fox, but I'm really having trouble trying to figure out what he's doing.
I think it was a mix of not so perfect planning and then just the chances of, an op like this. The chance that, BLUFOR just walked down the middle, the most direct route, didn't run into anyone, didn't hit any of the flanking defensive forces, those other teams on the northwest, or they didn't get the eyes of Red Force X-Ray team.
OPFOR X-Ray wasn't looking. Command Vic, Dusty's is bringing a transport truck back. He's probably going to pick up everyone he can and redeploy them somewhere else. Meanwhile, the rest of the infantry are heading towards the southeast. They're going to probably follow Severe's group in. And then you have Delta coming up this little riverbed here, following the tree line in. They might catch OPFOR's... definitely, once they come to this little T intersection of where the riverbed is, they're going to get spotted if they stay in that position. So, interesting. At least there will be a radio call out, and OPFOR will get a little bit better intel here on what's going on. But we are having X-Ray for BLUFOR sending 2 guys up to wackle up some trees here and potentially get into Terminal Site 3, and then the 2 MRAPs, armed M2 Vics, one's an MRAP, one's a Humvee. They're just chilling on the northern suburban area of the town of Hansted. And OPFOR is remounting Vics in the town of Rassau, and they are probably going to try to redeploy to do a counterattack, but I think BLUFOR is going to be able to get out of here for now. I don't know. My
question is why they relocated a bunch of people over to the town of Rassau over on the west. That's the one that really just confuses me. I mean, I guess watching the flank for Terminal 3 to watch that kind of backcap strategy from that western approach.
I think Indigo Fox was just worried about a backcap attack happening. Because again, we saw in the Zelenogorsk op where the attacking faction tried to take the last terminal in Zelenogorsk first. There was another op more recently where there was a backcap strategy done that didn't work out for the attacking faction. I think he was just having those defensive lines down to stop any sort of backcapping, but he is really just confused on where BLUFOR is, and OPFOR still doesn't know where BLUFOR's force is at this point. So just the lack of getting any eyes on any direct forces coming in, and BLUFOR being really restrictive on where he's getting his guys. I'm seeing Dust Eyes. He's driving 5 guys back. I think they're going to go grab their Vics and bring them up so everyone can get remounted and they can continue pushing in. But Severe doing recon for the platoon and having some forces join him on foot is a really big push here. And we also we are seeing a pincer strategy being developed here as other forces are now going through that western tree line. If OPFOR stayed there, they would have
the same force.
We would have had that pincer strategy work out for him, but OPFOR might redeploy. Actually, no, OPFOR is pulling all of their units back, as I figured they might, to Terminal 3 to hold it.
As X-Ray is coming up, that's Southern SSR.
If Twig and Shadowlocked are quick, they could actually get some free shots on those trucks. A few GLs by Twig into the truck would actually be devastating, but I think the trucks are just going to beat Twig and Shadow into the
has
AO.
spotted the trucks. NAS has spotted the trucks, so they're going to be aware of that. Shadow and Twig looking like they're heading.
Yeah, they're hiding
now. Yep. Because that's a solid squad and a half coming back. Yeah, almost 2 squads coming back in those trucks. And yeah, if they were here a minute or 2 sooner, again, not their fault, but just if the dice had been cast in such a way, we could see a very, very devastating play. And they're actually
Wait.
They're going to Garrison. They're going to Wellendorf.
Okay, no. Here's what they're doing. They're going to take the northern MSR, and they are going to try to... No, but they don't know about BLUFOR's force. Okay, I don't know where they're going. If OPFOR knew where BLUFOR's team was, and I don't think they've gotten any proper intel on it, let me quickly check on Tom H here. Let me see if he's gotten eyes on BLUFOR moving through. I would think he does, but let me look at his first-person POV. He is looking right into where a Delta group is, but I would assume if OPFOR knows that BLUFOR is pushing this vector, those 2 squads might be going... No, they're dismounting. What?
Yeah, and Tom H, I saw his position earlier. There are some very specific keyholes that he could see through, but he's just, I think he's a medic, actually. He doesn't have any binocs or anything. Yeah, he's a medic. Doesn't have any binocs, at least I don't think, so he wouldn't have that magnification. X-ray for Red 4 is a solid few hundred meters to the east of this this BLUFOR group. I am so confused. I guess, yeah, they're doing like the opposite, because this was the group that went that Garrison and Rassau, and now they're mounting back up and going north on that MSR, kind of like you said, just a little bit delayed.
Terminal 3 is abandoned again. X-Ray can potentially move up and just camp it. Like,
Platoon 2 HQ is pulling through now, but I wonder if, yeah, BLUFOR X-Ray is going to be too spooked to push in because they see them moving about so freely. This is so bizarre.
the one drawback we're going to see, though, is there are only 25 minutes left in this round. So 25 minutes for the combat to happen. OPFOR is in a decent position, though, with a full... No one dead. BLUFOR only has 2 guys dead from a transport accident. I could see OPFOR holding Terminal 2 in those 25 minutes. It's probably going to take another 5 minutes for BLUFOR to reposition themselves. But...
yeah.
We have X-Ray coming in. They're going to hold Terminal 3. We could see overtime get called if the terminal... if the terminal timer goes on and then they immediately hack Terminal 3, we could see overtime give BLUFOR an extra few minutes to win this. But OPFOR is at some point going to send a force down here. If it looks like they're not going to be able to hold 2, they're going to send forces down, and then it's going to be up to X-Ray to basically hold Terminal 3 as a marksman team. But we also have the armed M2 cars now coming into Terminal 3. What?
Oh, they've got the call, and they're pushing in. Yeah, they've gotten the call. X-Ray, they've started to push in. We still have the 2 guys, Naps and Pop-Tart.
The BTR coming down, though, but with the M2 Vix can easily tear that thing apart. I'm confused.
And let's see where Zope turns. No, he's not turning at all. He's actually still going west. Maybe heading back to Rassau and just missing... yeah, just going to be missing those 2 armored Vics coming in.
All right, hold up real quick. We have OPFOR. They're redeploying their units to the south of the eastern BLUFOR push. We're seeing an obvious pincer strategy here. OPFOR also having 2 guys on the defensive line. Jiminy's and Arcturus here are going to be watching that open field. So OPFOR does have good lines here to hold off. I would say the eastern group is probably going to get screwed by the defensive line made by OPFOR on the eastern side of Terminal 2, as well as the far eastern force can easily sandwich off that vector and kill them off. But if that transport truck is quick to remount people, they can then push on the other side, which in my opinion is much weaker, because all I have to do is pick off those 2 guys and then move in under the cover of... honestly, the transport Vix, they could just thunder run into that additional forest and cover it. But Stewart is the MAT team gunner. He is Charlie 2, meaning he has the RPG 32, and he can blow up the transport Vix and get a significant amount of kills. So we'll have to see how things go. But the M2 Vix went past Terminal 3. X-Ray is on the Terminal 3 building. What?
Oh, no. Do you see where the M2 Vix are going?
Yes, they're going right into where OPFOR has their forces deployed. There is no obvious No, they'll be able to see them. Oh my fucking god.
Two trucks, they'll see the white canopies, and I think she
Already the MRAP has stopped and he's looking at it. Oh, what?
Oh, dude, this is some fucky shit. And
So-
before the shooting starts, I want to bring your attention over to Staff Sergeant Thorne on the about a half a click east of the Terminal 2 marker. He's on the northern side with a defensive perimeter built with some H barriers, looking that direction with some binocs. I don't know if he spotted them or not, but that would be the direction, that would be the magnification needed to spot them. So it's possible that both sides have been made here.
OPFOR just needs to hold for 20 minutes, but if they don't, BLUFOR is entrenched in Terminal 3 for the back cap. I think it's the western flank that's going to fall apart. We do have the BTR-80 on standby, though, and it has a really nice range advantage on the BLUFOR guys. Where do we have BLUFOR Matt gunners on the left, though?
It would be Victor Reznov, who is the Matt Gunner with Carl Gustav.
And he is on that left side, so yes, he could potentially get a snipe shot on the BTR-80, but...
Quick note, Shadowlock is camping that Terminal 3. It's inactive until
part of X-Ray.
Terminal 2 blows up, but yeah, X-Ray has garrisoned that town now and is in their control.
And then you have the two M2 Vics. They're driving around, giving a wide berth to the OPFOR dismount on the far eastern side. I think Drake might have spotted Vics. No, he did not. Yeah, you can't even faintly hear them in the distance. But OPFOR, they are looking around, covering rear. We have a little over 20 minutes left.
This western part of Terminal 2, that's going to be actually kind of a tough break for BLUFOR's Charlie Bravo squads, because we have about
no.
garrisoned and entrenched over here with the stacks of wooden lugs, dirt mounds, etc.
Real quick, BTR pulled away from the western flank where they would have had the best overwatch angle on the eastern group, and now they're going a bit closer. And OPFOR has just spotted something.
Yep. That's Cyrus with a PKM spotting that eastern group.
So here's the deal. That OPFOR force all the way to the east needs to very quickly push in, because if BLUFOR is able to penetrate this Bravo squad, there is no defenses between that Bravo group and the terminal. They are it. And BLUFOR, if they push hard and they get a few lucky headshots here on the 4 guys on this defense line, they can easily push through.
I think the BLUFOR Humvee has been glitched, because I'm seeing them trying to get into it and they can't. Oh,
as I go over and see that, yeah, I think they had to use Ace to get it at a different angle, but
something
that's weird.
Was going on.
All right, so BLUFOR, Flood has died under Foxtrot 1. The other 2 skulls were from an accident, but...
Jeez, Kevin.
A lot of good GL hits on OPFOR, though.
On his own.
And now you got the other flank now engaging. BTR is starting to fire at BLUFOR positions here. We do have Reznov right here. I think he's thinking about ranging that Carl Gustav shot. He has pulled back off the line. And now the final 20 minutes have gone down. You're seeing OPFOR trying to close the gap on the eastern side, pushing Foxtrot and Delta on the eastern flank of this BLUFOR line here, though. And BLUFOR, they have slowed down. They're trying to maneuver on the southern side of this eastern defense line here. With that Foxtrot team as Delta kind of covers them.
Quick, on the western side,
yep.
The Bravo squad coming in.
AT hitting the BTR.
Yep, AT just hit the BTR. It's not cooking off or anything. Looks to be pretty much fine. Bravo 1 for BLUFOR, pushing up in his trench as the rest.
It's either a weak hit or a miss.
Riding that covering fire. BTR is pulling back, and this might be the best chance for them to push into this town and take this terminal quickly.
Foxtrot now closing the gap on the southern side for BLUFOR. OPFOR, Foxtrot, they're about, I want to say, 4 to 5 minutes away. What's up?
Second AT went on the BTR, but it was on the move in.
Yep, near miss. That Maz is still going to have a few extra shots, especially because he has an assistant. And he is actually in Liquid's backpack, and he is grabbing more rockets, and he is going to be ready to go. Bravo making this push. It's led by Lusod and Buckets, and you got Vargrant and Pronix, 2 other, like, those 4 are really good players in FNF. But OPFOR has very, very thin defensive lines because most of their force is going to counterattack the eastern flank, but that's going to give time for the western flank for BLUFOR to get in, because, again, that's a very thin defense line as well, so...
Naps has set up in a deer stand on the north side of Terminal 3, overwatching this entire field. That'd be that's not a terrible position apart from the fact that it's made of fucking wood. But yeah, Twig is now pushing up on his lonesome from the south side.
Yeah.
I guess
He
maybe
could sneak in. There's no one watching this vector. Again, because OPFOR has way too many guys on a counterattack flank. But they...
And Twicking, if he looks to his right, he can
I really don't like this.
GLs into the rear end of that BTR. But
Severe's small fire team is about to be cut out of position by Dreek. Dreek opening up, trying to hit Severe. Severe returning fire, forcing Dreek to pull back. But if BLUFOR keeps this momentum going and keeps forcing OPFOR to push back, they can get right on top of that terminal before they are outflanked by the maneuvering group. And we really need to see the northwestern flank of BLUFOR push harder here. But they do have the Vix that they can mount up in and Thunder Run. This is... Oh, man.
It's looking good for, in my opinion, it's looking really good for BLUFOR on these eastern front. They have, time is working against them right now. They need to push in quick enough to overwhelm Bridges groups, Bridge, Dreek, Firefighter, all these guys.
BTR is pushed back and is, yep, as you just called out, firing on that group. But look to the southern part of this MSR and look what's coming up.
Oh, baby.
And we also, looks like the... Olaf and the other guy were able to fix whatever was going on with that other car. If this MRAP spots that BTR, it is going to make Swiss cheese of it with its 50 cal.
Just stopped.
Oh, no.
The turret. Mountain knows what he's doing with that.
There's still a little bit of a hill in the way. They got to get a bit closer. I don't think they spotted the BTR. In fact, they're going on a wide...
Oh, yeah.
I think they're just taking a little more cautious, but if OPFOR loses that BTR, that is going to be really devastating early on because that BTR is doing a really good job helping slow down the BLUFOR advances. But with that BTR being pulled away on the northwestern flank, BLUFOR is getting closer, and they actually have a member of Xavier, X-Ray, Twig Kane pushing up.
Twig, yeah, he pushed up on that south and north.
No!
On the third terminal.
The MRAPs have pulled around. They're now assisting the northwestern flank. Oh, that is a misplay. But then again, they don't know that the BTR is there, so it makes sense.
Yes, I guess it just get called out to them, and the BTR wasn't firing as they pushed up, so that is what it is.
15 minutes. Twig, honestly, I get what he's doing. He's trying to alleviate units on this northeastern flank. Has he?
He absolutely has. There was
How many kills is he on?
None. Let's see. He's
none.
on actually none. Okay, there was a Red 4 guy on the dirt mound that was that's right next to him. So I don't know. Maybe they just pulled back.
Anderson was there. I think he pulled back.
We have a steady stream now of BLUFOR guys pushing up in this ditch and using that.
Yeah, he pulled back to the terminal.
To their advantage. And
BTR 80 pulling back to the western flank. Vehicles aren't going to be able to catch it out of position. Instead, the vehicles are going to be used to basically draw fire and suppress this flank. BLUFOR correctly predicting to push on the northwestern group because the eastern force is about to get encircled and fucked.
Twig finally got his first kill. I'm not sure who that was exactly, but yeah, going for the double tap, making sure.
Let's see. It was... Oh, Martin's dead. All right. I know it was Cosmonaut. Martin was... a lot of people in chat were cheering on Martin, and Martin was one of the first to die. Oof.
Tough. Ain't that about a bitch.
Look at Echo 2 right now. They're going to go around on a flank that Anderson's going to run down and, I guess, cover on his own, but... Yeah, I mean, there's so many ways this can get screwed up. Now you got the vehicles coming in, Thunder running.
Yep, BTR is actually pulling back to Terminal 3. He's heading down south as this command group and Foxtrot and Delta for BLUFOR, they're starting to get really pincered now as this whole red wave is coming in on their eastern side when they're back. But at the same time, the northwestern side of Terminal 2 is...
Are they just going to drive up there?
Pushing in the two vehicles, going down the MSR, and just kind of doing circles around this whole AO.
Now you got Echo 2 that's going to get to the edge of the town. Anderson hasn't spotted them yet. Yeah, those Vicks are just driving in circles, drawing their fire. So I can tell you right now the BLUFOR eastern flank is going to get encircled and fucked here, but they have diverted some units along the southern side, and they're going to be able to penetrate into this AO and potentially touch the terminal. Northwestern group has slowed down. I would assume that the guys that are still on Overwatch are going to start getting in the vehicles that were driven up to them and push in. But as long as they tap that terminal and give a minute to the other team, they should be fine. We're at about 12 minutes now. BTR turning around, but the vehicles, 50 cal now firing at the BTR 80.
Wait, I think it has stats to them too.
BTR returning fire.
So it's got a bit of armor, but enough fire should be able to take it out.
That Humvee needs to be pushing up and flanking that BTR. It is not doing any good right now trying to get online with the MRAP. This is a really bad call, and ooh, they almost play bumper car.
I know, right?
BTR now flanking on the left.
Down. I don't know if it was fine with the PKT or what, but no problem for them.
Yep, Humvee basically needs to now try to circle that BTR, but they are going to go aggressive here.
Gunner is dead. Gunner, the BTR is dead. Low shot out. Zope and Reaper both.
Yeah, they're screwed. That BTR is screwed.
It still has an extra gunner in there. Oh, but the Humvee pulling up right behind it.
Twig King tried to sneak into Terminal 2. He was shot, though. Wakes back up. He can still get in there and sneak in. They're about to be joined by this Echo 2 force. Almost everyone on the Echo side, though, for BLUFOR is dead, though. There's only a few left. If that OPFOR force comes in, they're screwed. But Severe leading the charge here. They can initiate the terminal hack in just a moment. But honestly, this is all going to come down to the Echo 2 group for BLUFOR, because if they are unsuccessful in hacking this, the entire OPFOR force is going to reposition to defend Terminal 2, and that's going to make Terminal 3 impossible to touch. So Severe really needs to run in here and initiate this hack immediately.
BTR crew has been neutralized. Reaper got out and tried to make a last stand, but got lit the fuck up. Zope's the last one alive, but he's down into the burning BTR. So that's that vehicle neutralized.
Severe now trying to crawl in. He was hit by a friendly and then hit by 2 enemies. But he does need to get that hack initiated. And then BLUFOR needs to hold it.
Satchel charge right on top of it, but he's gonna hit it anyway.
He's got to touch it.
Man. The man.
He's gonna die, but he died well.
Witness me, he says, and finish.
And there he goes. Now it's up to Nordy and Twig King. Gee, where is the rest of the BLUFOR force here? Koak getting shot in the rear. BLUFOR now unable. No Tree is going to get shot in the back by Bridges. Bridges getting shot at by Nox.
Nox, yeah, I think Nox just killed him. No?
1 minute remaining. It had to have been Twig King then. Twig King needs to cover that. MX needs to run up and stop the hack. But BLUFOR might have been pushed back here, as now you're seeing all of these OPFOR forces run into this AO.
Yeah, they pulled back as soon as that got popped. Actually, no, that was that flanking force that just eviscerated the command group. Because, yeah, if we look at the roster now, Command's dead, Foxtrot's dead, Delta's dead, almost all of Echo is dead, too. And
OPFOR's confused right now. They haven't hit the timer. I think Firefire's going to run in and stop it about the 20-second mark. No, MX is going to get it at the 25-second mark. I'm going to be honest with you. GG BLUFOR. Actually, no. GG to... wait, no. It will be GG to BLUFOR. OPFOR has won. Because now you have all of the OPFOR force that completely nullified the eastern flank is going to come in, set up a defensive line. BLUFOR does not have the manpower to get through OPFOR here, and they only have 10 minutes, technically 9.5 minutes to do it. It doesn't matter that they have that defensive force on... that Vanguard force on X-Ray covering Terminal 3. There's no way that BLUFOR can now get into this AO because OPFOR has a near 2-to-1 numbers advantage here.
Yeah, I mean, best thing they would have to do would be the assets. Looks like they're wasting time trying to fix that BTR. The engine's smoking, so they might be able to fix it.
Quick shot in the back of the head.
Yeah,
those vehicles are going to be useless in this terrain, though. We are going to see BLUFOR Charlie push in here, but there are too many OPFOR guys for Charlie to make any difference here at this point.
I think so too, and especially not without any of that assist from the turn BTR. But even then, that's a far cry at best.
What would have been the turning point is if all of Echo 2 went to the terminal. I have no idea why they broke off and only half of the force attacked while the other force was lagging behind. That was the BLUFOR mistake. If they had more guys guarding that terminal, they could have bought the extra 25 seconds. This site would be done, and then X-Ray would back cap 3, and the round would have been over by now. But this is GG, all because of that mistake.
I think props need to go to the eastern garrison of Terminal 2 area, because they were the ones that were able to hold out long enough for that big flanking force from the far eastern side to push in, eliminate an entire flank of BLUFOR forces, and then they were able to pull back and guard that area, or counterattack the terminal, I should say, just in time.
I'm literally watching OPFOR just pushing manpower in and evenly trade with BLUFOR right now, and they're able to.
And now the asset teams, they're finally pulling out now, and it looks like Mountain's changing tires as Olaf is heading out. I think this, especially with Charlie pushing in on a suicide run, no way. And it is not the result. If you would ask me 40 minutes ago Do you think OPFOR is going to
trying.
win at with like 30 people still on the field? I would have said no way.
Look, BLUFOR set the stage. They did everything right, but that attacking team should not have been a laggard on the southern side again. All those forces should have been committed. That would have bought them the extra 25 seconds. And again, then X-Ray hacks Terminal 3. OPFOR had no way to immediately pull back because... well, I mean, no, they could have. They could have, the Vics were pointing south. They would have been able to get a force in, but I think X-Ray would have been able to hold that door in the remaining 30 to 45 seconds that OPFOR would have had to storm it, and it would have been GG. If not, what would have happened was if they got Terminal 3 hacked, I think the two MRAP Vics would have stopped what they were doing and just covered the infill between Terminal 3 and Terminal 2, and it would have been GG to BLUFOR. But at this point, I could still see BLUFOR charging Vixen, dismounting, and touching the terminal. And then maybe...
if they pull around the south side of the terminal, then maybe...
But no, they're gonna keep just circling, and then someone's gonna AT it. There goes Herb, putting that AT on that Vic. It is now smoking, engine's dead. And, yeah, no, that's GG.
Unfortunate. I mean, there's still the beat... No, wait, where's the BTR?
No. BTR wasn't captured. Nafs is moving up on foot. Wait, no, G-Legs.
Someone has,
Hold up.
has the BTR. It's not where I last saw it.
Yeah, it's on the map. There are BLUFOR people in it.
Yes, because they went to repair.
They did repair it. All right. Jesus.
Oh, it's on the map as Red 4 because...
Yeah, because there's a Red 4 body in it, but...
Because I think Lolo's still in it. Or not Lolo, but someone is still in it.
One of the TSB guys are still in it. Now you got King and Owl breaching Ash's building. He's about to be Hillary Clinton. Come on, King. Oh, wait. He heard him. Throws a grenade, only to get shot. Ash is, yeah, he called his hits. He's dead.
Well, Matt Coro and Pronley, right around this corner, they see the barrel with the PKP from Pointman and Mags. They get some shrapnel from an M67 grenade, and they pull back. So Matt looks like he's gonna push up.
Hold up, BTR could Thunder run this and then dismount and then get the hack. Nope, they're going for kills instead. They could have snuck up in there and reinitiated the hack and blocked off the doorway with the BTR.
Looks like
they might still try to do it. All right, driver needs to get out. Come on. Someone needs to get the fuck out of the Vic right now.
We're at less than 5 minutes now.
Please. What are you doing?
He's moving around trying to dodge for AT.
All right, there we go. Mountain dismounting.
Come on, there's no time.
What are you doing? Get in there and hack the fucker. What are you doing?
He doesn't know where it is. He doesn't know where it is. He got crippled.
Idiot. I'm sorry to be harsh, but I cannot believe he choked that.
He did not know where it was. He could not.
You have it marked on the map.
But it doesn't.
Why didn't you look into the window then? Whatever.
That is true. And he was outside of it too. I don't know. Maybe the first-person camera just wasn't tall enough. But still, now it's just up to the driver, or to the gunner rather, and he's getting surrounded by the second.
Okay, we could still have Pronix and Matt break in here, but they have to do it within the next 2 minutes, otherwise it won't prompt overtime.
Yep, and they do have a 2v3 right now.
Sorry to call
and if they're able to pop
Mountain an
it,
idiot there, but god damn it.
Then there's no way.
You got Pads also closing the gap, but he's not going directly there. He is going for kills.
Matt is taking fire from Nielsen now.
The gunner could literally dismount and touch it and then run back in the BTR and cover it with the BTR, but he is prompted not to do that. And we got Dots vaulting over and shooting Pronix in the head. Pronix Dot had to pull his handgun out, gets the kill with the handgun. Why isn't the gunner getting out?
I have no clue.
I'm so annoyed. I am so fucking annoyed because BLUFOR has an opportunity here. They have to count it down for 25 seconds. They could make it with this BTR just suppressing it. Hold up, engine just got cut. Please. Please. You have 2.5. This is just infuriating at this point.
I know, right? It's such a tease. It's such a tease. There he is.
Legs. Yes.
King shit. No, what?
The hack reset. What?
That's unusual. Okay.
It's not supposed. Okay, no. All right, we're GG'd then.
No.
Because it's under 3 minutes. It's at.
There's a second or two of difference. But no, the timer has to pause.
But John's just gonna go in there and touch it. Wow.
14.5.
Wow.
But Dodar. Oh no, G-Leg shouldn't have hopped out. He got the kill.
Oh my God.
Point man with the PK.
There's still a minute left though. I don't see it.
Wait, yeah, the timer's.
The timer should not have been reset. That is a glitch.
And I think the terminal timer is a slower clock. Yeah, it absolutely is in the clock on the mission. I don't know. That is I mean,
38,
that is so down
37,
to the wire.
36,
No
35,
way I've ever
34,
seen this kind of thing
33,
before. Holy
32, 31, 30. Yeah, you're right. The terminal clock is slower too. That is some bull. It's gonna get.
That's so unfortunate. Because, yeah, now we're at 20 seconds left on the clock, but still 30 seconds left on the timer.
Hold on.
It's got paused.
Why is it still on our prompt though? BLUFOR just got scammed. BLUFOR got scammed. Oh my God.
Because no,
BLUFOR got
for
scammed.
almost a minute. If that 20 seconds was still on the clock,
BLUFOR got fucking scammed. I love it.
it just got Wait, no, now
And it just fades away.
it fades away as they pull it back. What?
But if they, the terminal's still in the hack animation though. If it was stopped, it would be closed off. Oh my God.
Where's my whiskey?
That's amazing. That's actually fucking amazing. BLUFOR got scammed. They would have won it. That would have won it. But the script broke. Oh. I am going down.
Where Red 4 was to cheat Blue 4 out of a victory. Yeah, you're right. The script was calling for it.
I mean, we'll have to go down in the channel when the round ends, but I mean there it is. But BLUFOR should have won that. BLUFOR should have clutched that by G-Legs, but we'll hear it in the channel downstairs. I'm gonna jump down right now because I want to hear the official call. But wow. Wow.
Send in GOAT Team 6.